This week's Piltch Point with Abram Piltch is proudly powered by PureVPN. You want to protect your anonymity online and hide your browsing experience from Facebook, Google, and even your own ISP. The best way to do that is with a VPN like PureVPN. Plus, you have the ability to report a different location so that if you're traveling abroad and you still want to be able to use your Amazon Prime Video or something like that, you can still do that as well. And right now, we have got an even better plan than usual. Right now... Oh, yeah, okay. So they are offering a 5-year plan right now, which is a really unbelievable deal, for $1.65 a month, which is really a fantastic price. That's an 85% savings, and you can get that deal right now by going to piltchpoint.live/purevpn. That is the best deal we've seen on that yet, Abram.
Wow, that is good.
So, I believe you've got a little show and tell for us.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about this. No, I'm kidding. I've done that every episode, so I just thought I would fool you. So I got I'm starting to get in some robots because it's getting into holiday season and companies are sending out stuff because they would like us to some coverage. So we're doing some testing and some reviews to see, hey, what are the good STEM toys? I mean, we're always doing that, whether it's holiday season or not. But there seems to be a lot being released these days. So here's one that I have called the Artie 3000. So this robot is a new robot, but it takes me back. Do you ever remember programming in Logo? No, before your time?
Maybe.
So, for the audience who did not do any programming in the early 80s, Logo was a programming language that they would teach kids as a first programming language back when, we won't even say what grade I was in, but back in the early 80s, it was you had a little icon called a turtle. It was a triangular shaped thing. I was on the screen, and you would give it commands to draw things with a pen. It was a pen, basically. You would tell it to draw a shape, turn 90 degrees, go forward a certain amount, turn 35 degrees, whatever, and you would end up with a shape on the screen. And that was Logo. It was basically programming to something to draw. Now fast forward 30-something years, and you have Artie, which does something very similar, but on real paper with a real marker. So at the bottom of Artie, you have I don't know if you can see this, you have a marker, right? The top piece here opens up, and inside it comes with 4 markers, which are, thankfully for parents, washable, so if they get on the floor, you can wipe it off. And it has this power switch. You turn it on, and then you program it. And the programs end up giving you results like this. Now, Notice that you got to bring your own paper, and I discovered that regular printer paper might not be so thick enough all the time. And when I actually put the Artie down, it created kind of a blot, and then it was doing this. But when we put it on construction paper, it was a lot better. And here's another one that my son made, Artie Party. So it's cute. It is presently $63 on Amazon, so it's not ridiculously expensive. So it makes a nice gift for someone. As far as the interface and what the programming is like, though, I think it's both very simple and yet requires a certain amount of geometry knowledge to work for you to really customize. So it's a block-based coding language, and the way that it works, this is a really weird form of connectivity. So most robots that I test uh, operate over Bluetooth, and there's an app. Artie operates over Wi-Fi Direct, and there is a web app that is served off of Artie. So Artie is like, I guess, a little tiny web server,
Hmm.
and it serves not just anything, but it serves a page where you could drag and drop the blocks around uh, in a web browser. Now that works pretty well if you have a PC or a Mac or any type of desktop or laptop computer. The interface is not particularly great for mobile devices. Um, I mean, you can use it. My son was even using it on a phone with a five and a half inch screen, but still, it's it's kind of hard to target because it's really not made as a mobile page. It's made as a her desktop web page with like two different columns in it, one with the code blocks you could drag and the other with the canvas onto which you drag them. um, and the code is not any standard programming language. It is just very simple stuff. There's only like 5 blocks that you can use. There's like turn a certain number of degrees in one direction, put the pen up, put the pen down, and go forward or backward a certain amount of millimeters or inches. And then you can use loops to repeat something a certain number of times. Uh, that that is all. So it is, unless there's some feature of this I haven't found yet, but we've been playing with it all weekend. It's just that simple. Now, the right side, it makes it not very complicated, and they give you some cards that actually give you programs that you could type in yourself. Um,
Okay.
for making designs like this one. So to be honest, I typed this in, off a card. I didn't invent this, come up with this one myself. Um, but my son had a lot of fun with it. Whether he's learning really valuable concepts in programming, I don't know how valuable they are compared to things he's learned from other devices and other STEM kits, because there's a very kind of limited number of blocks. There are no sensors on this, so it's not like you can make it draw something in reaction to
Mm-hmm.
light or sound or objects in recognition or anything like that. Um, but it's not very expensive at $63. Kids will enjoy it. It's designed for kids 7 and up, and you absolutely do need to be able to read to use it. And it does benefit a great deal from having a using it on a computer, although maybe a tablet with a larger screen, like a 9-inch, 9.7-inch iPad or something, might be okay. The other thing that is a little weird is when you're using it, you cannot connect to the internet on the device you're using it on.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because you have to Wi-Fi direct to this,
Mm-hmm.
so you have to disconnect from your router to connect to this. Um, I don't think there's a pass through to pass through to your router, although there may be one way of doing that in the settings that I haven't discovered yet. But on the other hand, if you're a kid playing with it, I'm sure you could log off the internet to use it for a while. I mean, so that's just a quick look at Artie. He's really cute. Um, he draws really neat stuff. Comes with 4 different markers with different colors. They're kind of standard markers, so I think if they get used up, you could probably just get any marker from the store that's the right height and put it in here. I mean, this is a green one, but you can see it just comes right out. It'll just come right out, and then you can replace it. Uses 2 AA batteries, so doesn't require much in terms of charging. So fun, cute little robot, um, but not. I wouldn't say it's like one of the best STEM learning experiences that I've seen. But for the price, it certainly would be a fun gift for someone, and kids would enjoy it for at least a few hours, if not longer.
Okay. So what I what I see looking at that, especially with the first thing you held up, was spirograph.
Yes, yes, it does it for you.
Right.
Um, right? Because Spirograph, didn't you have to draw it yourself in the? Or am I wrong? It's been
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah, it had the little.
Um,
That was the one that had the little wheels, and you put the pen in somewhere, and you went around the
oh yeah,
little
right. Yes,
gear
right.
looking thing, and it would come up with
Yes.
things that
Now,
looked
I
like
mean,
your first one there.
yeah. Now you know what's actually interesting is if you don't think of this as a code learning tool, you think of it as a geometry learning tool. It actually could be really good. That being said, I haven't really, unless there's a section of the website or something I missed, there doesn't seem to really be a lot of instructions and tutorials on how to, that really teach kids about geometry. Now, so my son did not know, is 7 in second grade, has not yet learned about angles and, you know, how, what a 90-degree angle is versus a 180-degree angle and things like that. Now, inadvertently, this seems to be teaching him, so that's kind of cool. But he's only learning that from figuring it out because he hasn't actually learned that in school yet. I suppose I suppose if a teacher wanted to get this and use this as part of a geometry lesson, it might actually be kind of interesting, um, because then you could, kids would have to, learn about angles. Maybe you could even use this to demonstrate the Pythagorean theorem, because you have to, if you want to draw a triangle, you'd have to know how many millimeters to make the base versus to make the three sides or whatever. So um, I think you could do some things with this that that really teach about geometry. However, that's not really how it's being marketed. It's being marketed as teaching you about programming, which it does let you program, but I've certainly seen things that give you a lot more versatility, and a lot better tutorial action than this. I mean, obviously, the best that I've seen is Lego Boost, and that still costs around 150 bucks, which is almost 100 bucks more than this. So, you know, different toys for different things. This could certainly be a neat gift for a kid in your life,
Okay.
but not too old of a kid, and not too young of a kid either, because it says 7 plus, and you have to read to use the interface. It's not symbol based at all, and it helps a lot if you can use a computer with a mouse. So, you know, it's probably a sweet spot of maybe second to fifth grade or first to fifth grade or something like that.
Okay. That that makes sense. I can see that. Obviously, obviously you have it. So my guess is we're gonna see some content from it.
Yep, yep. Yes, and one thing I have to say is, mercifully, since it is kind of a unitasker, it doesn't have a lot of different functions and features. It'll be an easy review for me to write up. Um, so we should have one up this week.
Very cool. Well, I look forward to seeing it. I really, obviously, it's cute, and
Yeah.
you can't argue that. And I like the idea of coming at it from a geometry standpoint, as opposed to a programming standpoint. But just from like a robotic art kind of a thing, it's it's an interesting concept, and it's $63. It's not gonna kill you.
Right. Yeah. It's not bad. I mean, I guess the thing that I'm really looking for in STEM toys is either something that is going to involve both inputs and outputs.
Hmm.
So something that has sensors, I always like, and even if they have to have a block-based coding language, either make it so dead simple that any pre-literate kid can use it, like Lego Boost is all symbol based, so no writing, or provided a learning path for kids to graduate to adult programming. And I mean, yes, there's like repeat loops in this, but I didn't really see any way to do like an if then. Well, if what, right? Because it's not, there's no sensors, so what's the condition it would be? it would be looking for, right? That's one of the issues. So, um, you know, it's cute. It's cute. It's affordable. I think it would make a nice gift for kids, but it's not. I wouldn't say that this is going to be the magic bullet to teach your kids programming if they don't already know it.
Got it. That's a that's a good way of putting it, and I think it sums it up well.
Yeah.
Well, Avram, always appreciate seeing what you're working on for Tom's Hardware, and look forward to seeing what we got next.